G'day, mate. What's your name?
Cameron. I am Cameron. We've met so many times. This is crazy.
Mate,
This is a crazy way to start this podcast.
Hi,
I'm your friend
mate,
Cameron.
It's more for the audience.
Hi, I'm Cameron.
What do you do, Cameron?
I'm a comedian.
Comedian, mate. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Crowdworkcast. My name's Andrew Barnett. Thanks for joining me. As you heard there, this episode's with me old mate Cameron Duggan, absolute champion. Now, before we get into that, I do need to do some plugging. Like I've said, I've got these three big shows I really need to sell well. So, Brisbane, October 7th, Sit Down Comedy Club. Newcastle, October 22 at the Newcastle Comedy Club. And Sydney, November 3 at the Sydney Comedy Store. All those dates I'll be doing my show How Good. So it's my first solo at all three of these venues, and I really want them to sell well. So go to andrewbarnettcomedy.com for tickets, or you can visit the sites of any of those websites. Links obviously are all in my social media. So Andrew Barnett Comedy on Instagram, Andrew Barnett Comedy on Facebook. You'll find links to all those shows. Like I said, if you want to come along, I'd love to see you. If you've got someone you know might like the show, send them along. It'd be great to fill these three shows. Now, today's episode, Cameron Duggan, stand-up comedian. Champion, very funny guy, one of the hosts of the really successful podcast The Mug Off, which is a great Australian podcast that he does with Jared McGowan and in Yaz. If you haven't checked that out, when you finish with this episode, go have a listen to that. There's heaps of great local comedians on it, and it's always a funny chat. Now, Cameron came in and did this. He was an absolute champion. He's the first guest who actually brought beer along. He brought a six-pack of cans so we could sit down and actually have a proper chat. It was really fun. As you'll hear, he's just a very relaxed, funny guy. You can follow him. He is Cameron_Duggan on Instagram or Cameron Duggan Comedian on Facebook. So give him a follow on those. Go see him live whenever you get the chance. Listen to the Mug Off podcast, and he has a Sydney Fringe Festival show coming up in September. It's called Excuse You, which he's doing with Fran Middleton and Charlie McCann, who are both very funny comedians as well. So that show is worth checking out. Check out Cameron wherever you can. Like always, if you're enjoying the show, subscribe wherever you're watching, listening to it. And other than that, just enjoy this episode. This is my chat with Cameron Duggan. Yeah, we have known each other for a while.
Yeah. Since I moved here. It's been a good 8 years.
Yeah. It was funny. I had Dan Connell on the other day, and I just started, and I told him that that's how I was going to start, but I think it still caught him off guard. And he's like, "Oh, g'day, mate." It's like a real little, he's got that little giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is great.
Yeah. So, comedian. So, yeah, you've been 8 years in Sydney now?
Yeah, moved here end of 2015. It's coming up pretty close to the 8 years, actually.
So you grew up Brisbane?
God's country, mate. Up in Brizzy, 8 in a row, never forget it.
8 in a row, man, this origin stuff. So before we started recording, I was talking to you about, on one of your podcasts, Eric Hutton was talking about doing a gig at the Bears.
Yeah, North Sydney Bears.
And I was saying...
It's weird when rich guys are into rugby league, don't you reckon?
Oh, man.
They're normally union guys.
Those guys are still living the dream there. I have done union functions at that same club, though.
At the rugby league festival?
At the rugby league club.
Getting down in the
North
muck
Leagues.
for their functions.
Yeah, mate. It's a good size room.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've done league and I've done union for those
Seeing
sort of
a league
lunches.
fan in RM Williams is a bit off-putting, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's, you know what it is? They're the exact same blokes. It's the job they've taken the afternoon off from. That's the difference.
They're still getting paid to be there.
Oh, yeah.
They're having a long lunch.
Mate, these blokes, because I did the union one, I thought, this might be a bit different. And before I'd even gone up, they were singing and some bloke was sculling. Some dude, he would have been in his 50s, sculling a beer. I was just like, oh, nah, you're not that different.
I wonder if he did the math on it, for Bogans get a bad rap for their behaviour. I reckon the rich blokes are worse.
Oh, yeah.
It's far more entitled behaviour, but the Bogans are just like, yeah, I know, I'm being a dickhead. Who cares? We're at the pub.
That's
I'm being loud at the pub. What's
Yeah.
wrong with that? I mean, that's my exact mentality.
they wear it on their sleeve a bit more.
And then the rich guys are kind of like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I'm an upper middle management.
Yeah.
I wear a tie at work normally.
No one wears ties. Even the business guys don't wear ties anymore. I've discovered. Got a
Really?
couple of mates of mine who work in banking, and I was talking to them, and they were just like, "Yeah, no one."
I don't mind putting on a tie.
Yeah, well, court obviously.
Yeah, suiting up.
The old local
Yeah,
court
it goes
tie.
well with the judge.
Yeah. Oh man, but I was saying I did that gig for their Origin thing, and Billy Moore. So Billy
Yeah.
Moore, Queenslander. You know how the Queenslanders all wear FOG. They all have FOG and a number on
What's
their
that?
jerseys.
What's that stand for?
Former Origin great.
Really?
Right, because all the players, anyone once they've stopped playing Origin, they're a former Origin
That
great,
sucks.
and they've got a number. But the current players wear it on there, so you can be a debutant with FOG, and that's so I said to him.
Future Origin great?
Well, this I said to him, what does the FOG stand for? And he's like, oh, former Origin great, and I was like, do you guys know what the word former means? It means used to be, mate.
Yeah.
It's a lot of has been pressure to
All
put
right,
on.
we got a fucking nerd in the room.
And he just looked at me and goes, because I was thinking, they'd get a laugh. And I got a laugh from some of the other tables. And Billy just looked at me and goes, oh, never thought of that. It's like, okay.
I mean, I love these fellas, but I don't reckon there's a whole lot of thinking going on with stuff like that.
Mate.
You get given a title and they'll wear it,
Oh, exactly.
you know?
He's a nice dude, Billy Moore. He's, I had a bit to do with him when I was working at Fox.
You don't work there anymore, huh?
Nah.
You still talk to any of those lads?
A bit, like I'll get a text or shoot a text with Hindy a bit, bump into Fletch a little bit. but
Yeah, right.
They're the main
I served
two.
him at my work once, Fletch.
Oh, yeah?
Big unit.
Yeah. Large human.
Yeah, was just in there buying some meat and I had to walk him to the thing. I've never felt safer.
Just escort him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's,
What about this? You'll like this. I got
Mm-hmm.
a message unsolicited the other day from some woman who I'm not connected with at all on
slid into the DMs.
slid into the DMs to tell me that she works at the Matty John show and I could no longer come along. And I was like, I was a different guy. It was just
Oh.
some other guy named Cameron that she was looking for, and she said, "Are you a mate of Declan's? You can't. Sorry, you boys can't come to the taping anymore." And I was like, "I don't know who Declan is, and I didn't have any tickets, but good luck getting a hold of these guys." So it's such a funny thing to do, to contact people unsolicited and tell them they can't come to your work.
Yeah,
That-
mate, you're excluded.
We're taping a show, mate, and you will not be in attendance.
Mate, you should have just gone, like, listen, I don't know what Declan did, but I don't approve of him. Can I just come?
Well, I had a few bit. Declan actually sent me a message today saying, he sent it the other day. I saw it today, saying that, that was me. That was that was me. Georgie was talking about.
that's so
I was
good.
like, hey, listen, I hope you fellas get to go one day.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Sorry to hear.
Hang in there. You'll get a ticket.
But just to contact people unsolicited, I think I might start trying it.
Yeah, why, mate? Have a bit of fun with it.
But I'm obviously going to have to lie about the show that I'm involved in.
What
One of
show
the new
would you go for?
gladiators here, Cameron Duggan.
The new gladiators.
You're going to have to cancel your tickets.
Would you like to come along?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm the guy who washes their uniforms.
Yeah.
I'm washing the spandex.
You should. Just contact, offer them tickets, then revoke.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't give you tickets because I don't have anything to do with the production.
It's crazy to be thinking about doing this for shows I'm not on when I'm actively trying to sell tickets to shows that I am on.
Yeah. that's
No one creates career suicide quite like I do.
mate. Oh, I don't know. There's some comedians around. It
Yeah,
seems to
that's-
be a talent comedians have of just
That's true. It's almost like some of the ones that you're thinking of don't really have a choice in the matter,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
more of a...
It's
It's a compulsion to do it. I do it because I think it'd be like, man, this would be funny if I just fuck this whole opportunity up.
This would be a good story
Yeah.
on a podcast one day.
And then people just looking at me like, why are you doing this? Why do you keep doing this to yourself? I don't know. I thought it was funny.
But which is the job? It's
Yeah.
to be funny. So,
Yeah, if anyone ever comes to the next show, I'll tell this story and get a big
Oh, man. So are you touring around at the moment? You got shows to sell? You want to plug?
I'm doing a fringe show in September with Fran Middleton and Charlie McCann.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in sort of the latter part of September. It's called Excuse You at the Sydney Fringe Festival.
Nice. And this new stuff building
Yeah, I
towards
swear to
next
God,
year's.
I'm going to write it soon.
That is the only way to really...
I mean, yeah, you have a deadline, and it's like, yeah, I can. I mean, I know it seems late, but it's like, yeah, I can do that. It is a thing I claim to be good at. Like,
Fringe is coming up. Why don't I ruin 6 weeks?
yeah.
Where I just always feel like I've got homework.
I don't know if I feel like that, but it's sort of more in tune to writing bits.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon?
See, whenever I've got stuff I should be right, it's that, that feeling you got with, I've got that thing I've got to do.
I'm real good at ignoring my commitments.
That's a good talent for the resume.
Just bury it down. It's like, aren't you late? Like, I think so. I don't know. I didn't read the email.
What are your strengths? Well, ignoring the fact that
compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
Avoidance.
Look, I'm not going to panic if I've stuffed up.
Yeah.
I'll just ignore it.
Is it due yet? No. All right. Well, I'll panic when I'm late.
Nice.
You know?
So is that just 20 minutes each you're doing there?
Yeah, I guess so. 15 to 20.
15 to 20?
Yeah.
So, Fran, I saw Fran actually for the first time in ages at a room where she was working on some new stuff.
Oh, yeah, she was telling me.
She's in progress. And I haven't seen Charlie in forever. What's he been up to?
I don't know. Not really doing comedy.
Yeah.
But we just booked it, like decided to do it while we were hanging out at the pub, and now we have to do it.
that's the way the best creative decisions are made, though.
It's how I make mine.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, you've got your podcast.
Yeah, the Mug Off.
Is that another one that started from like you blokes sitting around drinking or hanging out and just going, we should be doing a podcast?
I think those two boys were talking about doing it, and then they brought me on, and I thought it was kind of just a once off, and then they were like, we're recording next week. I was like, oh, okay. And that was a few years ago.
You can also ignore like whether you've committed to something fully or whether you've.
Oh
not.
no, I know I have. That one I have to put quite a lot of work into.
Yeah, no, but that's what I meant. In the initial thing, you're like, I don't know if I've fully committed, but I'll go along. Yeah,
I mean, no, I was pretty sure after the second week there was just no discussion of like, are we all doing? It was just like, okay, we're doing this now.
Man, it's so explain the premise, because it's a very popular podcast.
It's doing all right. So it's certainly the most popular thing I've ever been involved in. But and I've tried a lot of stuff. So it's called The Mug Off, and the basic premise is people come in and tell stories about times they've been mugged off or mugged someone else off, and if they were mugged off, did they take revenge?
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of a revenge-based podcast, and it's kind of a lot of people just dealing with their trauma on it, because they're like, I haven't thought about this since I was like 9. I'm like, well, let's get into it. 'Cause it kind of sounds like you were in the wrong here, pal.
Oh, I love like someone bringing their trauma in and you guys just making fun of it.
Yeah, just laughing about it.
Yeah. It's
like,
the best way.
Yeah, man,
whether they're laughing or not.
You deserve to get dacked.
What's the like? So do you think the appeal for those boys was, who's the guy we know that's probably been mugged off plenty and is revenge based in his thinking? Is that what the appeal
Maybe.
was?
I think we were just all hanging out and shooting the shit at the same time. So I mean, I guess it was just made more sense.
Man. So is that so of all the things you do, podcast, where would you rank? Like if you could set your career up where you had financially you're
comedy,
fine.
stand up.
Yeah, stand up.
Yeah, stand up is the one I would want to be doing the most. And the other things just kind of funnel people to the shows.
Yeah.
I think. That and moving office chairs, but I'm still trying to get these fellas from the warehouse out to a show. Just trying to get them out from Western Sydney to come watch me do 15 minutes of new bullshit.
Are you doing warehouse work?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like delivering office chairs. That's my job now.
What?
Or my day job.
But you're a trained butcher.
Yeah, I got made redundant at the start of the year.
Oh, man.
Just because of my personality or whatever. But
Not enough vegans, mate.
yeah.
Not enough people eating meat.
Well, I was working at a supermarket and they just kind of deleted butchers.
I think, yeah, I know the supermarket because that's
Yeah.
exactly what they're trying to do round at. We've still got a butcher's counter at my local supermarket.
Yeah, so they did that, but they don't have any trained butchers in there anymore.
That's what the amount of times you go and there's just someone behind the counter and you say, "Oh, is there any more of this?"
Yeah, I'm not allowed to cut it.
Not allowed to cut it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I don't know. Sell it to me. I got a knife.
Yeah.
I'll do it wrong, but
And the ones that do it often cut it the wrong way. So
Oh.
if you're buying a steak, it's going to taste like shit anyway. But they offered that I could stay on as an unqualified butcher for a pay cut. Very, very generous.
So hey, how about you forget your skills
Yeah.
and we pay you as
No,
though you
you
never
still
had 'em.
use the skills, but
Yeah.
we just pretend that you're not doing it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man, that's the one.
They are fucking dogs. Woolies are dogs.
There we go. We've named the supermarket.
Woolies are dogs.
Man, the my local Woolies has just gone to shit since COVID. It's like just
They made so much money during COVID. It's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
They posted record profits. But they also at the same time got done for historically ripping off their workers and had to pay tens of millions of dollars in back wages. So despite the surge in profits, they had to make that back somehow.
bloody hell.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of work around for butchers at the moment.
I mean, there might be, but I'd done
just-
it for 19 years, so it was
Time for a
time to
change.
start wheeling some chairs around, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's go see what's going on in the warehouse.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I just drive around in a van all day. And the weather's been sick, so I'm just driving around Sydney on nice days and just dropping off chairs to warehouses.
Which is it's one of those jobs too. Like if you for a stand-up, a day job. If you've got a job where you're just driving around, you're thinking you got time to think,
Yeah.
listen to podcasts, get all your
Yeah, it's
creative
great.
juices going, and yeah, like you said, you're just sitting in a bit of traffic on a nice day.
Yeah, I'm
pulling up
working
at a
for my
warehouse.
mate too, so I just tell him if I've got other stuff on. He's like, yeah, all right.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
nice.
pretty good.
Oh, let me know if he's hiring.
I actually had to. I was so stoked that no more early starts because I wasn't being a butcher anymore, and now I start way earlier. It's fucked.
That's the only thing I think with comedy is you don't want the early starts because especially when you're trying to do now, you'd be with the writing for the Fringe show and stuff, you want to run it so you want to hit those midweek rooms where
I mean,
you're
you
allowed
can
to
still
mess
do it.
around.
You just have a nap in the arvo or just be tired. It's fine.
Just be tired.
Yeah, it's
It's a
fine.
lifestyle
Yeah.
choice.
I'm never not tired.
Yeah. Man, so what time are you starting now?
Sometimes 5. It varies a lot, so there's no sort of routine to it. But that's fine. I don't fucking adhere to a routine anyway.
You're a bit of a maverick.
Yeah, the only routine I have is just laying down for a day. Just lay down till your back hurts. Just a bit of napping and fapping, you know?
Napping and fapping. That's a good way to spend an afternoon.
It's not bad. Hurts,
Yeah.
but it's not bad.
Are you a big napper?
Nah, not really. I'm not very good at it.
See, I'm a nap ninja.
Yeah, I would like to be good at it. I'd probably be less tired, but
Yeah.
it doesn't often work.
Man, I never had. It was when we had little kids. When my kids were little, that's when
I was thinking about this. One of your boys was quite crook, huh?
Yeah, when he was 4, he had leukemia.
And he's all good now? He beat it?
Yeah, he's
King
all good.
shit. Fuck
Right.
yeah. Man, and if he ever tries out for Australian Idol, he's in.
Oh yeah, there's a back. You
Yeah.
know, it's during it. There was Australia's Got Talent. Someone approached me and they wanted me to go in Australia's Got Talent because of the backstory.
Oh, that's fucked.
and I was just like, nah, man, this
Are
is.
these guys fucking ambulance chasers, these producers?
I was like, but they're like, oh, you don't have to talk about that. I'm like, I can't talk about that because, believe it or not, having a 4-year-old with leukemia it's just not funny, eh? It's I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone said, oh, you'll get a point where you can write a bit about it, and I still.
You're still going to get beaten by a dog balancing a ball
Yeah,
on
exactly.
its nose, you know?
Oh, this guy juggles, does he? Here we go.
Yeah, thanks for telling everyone about your real sick son.
Yeah.
Taking time away from him.
Yeah. To raise your profile briefly and get the wrong audience. Because then.
Yeah, in between fucking Harvey Norman ads.
Yeah. So the people that it's all of a sudden, you can sell some tickets, but the people turning up want to hear the sob story about it. Well, not it's just sob story, but want to hear you tell some insightful stuff about having a sick kid. And I'm like, oh, no.
That whole show's just kind of turned into trauma porn now, huh?
Man, that's almost everything now. It's like it's it's funny because it's even going that way, not trauma so much.
Australia's got a sad story.
Yeah, Australia's got a sad story.
Yeah.
It's good. We should just pitch that.
Yeah.
And then who's got the saddest story? And it's like, then like that's the whole competition.
Well, that's what it is. And then, also this guy can juggle.
Yeah.
Let's get into the finals.
Mate, this guy's got a sick kid and no talent.
Yeah.
So
he's going to the
tough
top,
for him.
baby. We're going to get him a radio job in the next 3 years.
That's it is depressing when you see that sort of stuff. I was just like, it's fine. I just don't really.
It's nuts to talk to a guy about trying to exploit that part of his life while you're still helping your son get through it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Would you like to capitalize?
That's what it felt a bit like to me. Like, I don't want to. But also, then you just don't want to be known as that.
Yeah,
that comedian. Like I've always shot away. Like anything that puts me in a box too much. Like you've got your stuff you naturally talk about, but you don't want to be the guy that leans way into one thing, gets known for that, but then you're just like, oh man, I'm sort of typecast. Everyone just thinks of me as that.
Yeah, I'm the dog shit guy.
I think you'd be good with a catchphrase. What would your catchphrase be?
What do we think about that?
Come on, guys, these are jokes.
Come on, that was funny.
That'd be the best.
I didn't do nothing.
I'd love to see you selling merch afterwards. Come on, that was funny.
I didn't do nothing.
I didn't do nothing. That's some good catchphrase.
I was at home, sleep.
Man, well, waiting for a mate is one of the biggest merch things going around from that guy from
I got tagged in that so many times. Him and this guy who was an Australian ISIS fighter, and he looked so much like me, it was fucked. And I just kept looking at him, trying to see the differences between, like, he looks like me except for this. The only difference was that I don't wear hats. It was the only difference between...
And don't pose for photos with your one finger up.
Yeah. That was the only difference between me and this guy accused of heinous crimes.
Yeah, it is.
Well, physically anyway, I should say. Well, I wasn't out here committing heinous crimes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not terrorism related.
No crimes at all.
One of my favourite jokes that I don't know if you still do it, but your joke about how many stepdads do you reckon?
Oh yeah,
I've had,
yeah.
Like, people looking at you.
Yeah, I like that joke. You gotta let it go,
It's still good because I love the point in that bit where you acknowledge, I'm a grown man bragging about his dad.
Yeah. It is funny, I think, to brag about how much your dad loves you.
Yeah.
Especially in comedy, because everyone else is like, I can't relate to this at all.
So did your parents still together? And
yeah.
So it's nice, stable childhood, that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I have no reason to be like this at all. Like, that is part of the bit, but I really don't have a need to be chasing fucking attention the way I do.
I'm the same. Like, I had people go, what got you? And they're looking for that.
Just wanting attention.
It's like, I had a nice childhood.
I kind of wish I didn't have this sort of need or desire to do it.
Yeah, do you ever look at especially doing like jobs like being a butcher, and you look at the guys that are just perfectly happy having a job,
so fine, going down the pub, getting laughs at the pub.
Yeah,
probably own their own business. They can go on holidays.
Yeah, they get paid leave.
I was like, I've eaten beans every day this week. Broke as shit.
Not as a choice, ethical choice.
Did you get fucked up on a Tuesday?
Yeah,
it suits my lifestyle,
So 8 years. So Brisbane, you grew up in Brisbane City or suburbs or whereabouts?
Like deep south, very suburban Brisbane.
Nice.
Probably like 30, 40 minutes out of the city.
So, and did you just high school, that sort of stuff? Was it like you always wanted to be a butcher, or were you looking for?
I was just working in the butcher shop in high school, And then finished high school and didn't want to go straight into an office, so I just did that while I was going to uni. I did an apprenticeship and a degree at the same time.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
What was the degree?
Accounting and economics.
Man, you
Yeah.
could run your own business.
Yeah, easily.
So you know all the bad financial decisions that are
I'm
involved
making.
in comedy. Yeah, wow.
I know all the ones that I'm making. I could write them all down for you. I could show you why I'm in the red.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still do it, baby.
Well, it's a comedy's kind of after a certain point. I think it's just one of those things like that people like either try, enjoy for a bit, or they just get to the point where I suppose I've got to do this now. Like,
There's
it's just what you do.
nothing else I care about doing.
Mm.
I wish there was, but it's not.
Yeah, work-wise, I'm a bit the same. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
like this is and
Are you
everything.
just doing stand-up now? You're not doing any TV stuff anymore?
Not doing TV at the moment. Do a little bit of radio on SEN.
Oh, yeah?
So do like we got a Sunday show over there, and I like last summer I did Drive, filled in for Fletch actually.
Yeah, cool.
Over summer did the Drive there, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, mostly just stand up, man.
Yeah, nice.
Love it.
The dream.
Yeah, it's good, and that's the thing. Like I remember Akmal said to me years ago. He goes, "I just want to do enough radio and television that people buy tickets to my show."
Yeah, sounds like the dream.
Yeah. And at the time, because I hadn't done any radio or television at that stage, I was like, "Nah, man, you want to be." And then having done it, I'm like, "No, yeah, no, this is the most like stand-up's the most fun." Like it'd be nice to like you see these guys that get the big podcast and whatever, and like so it'd be nice to be able to get that sort of a thing.
A big podcast is a dream over a radio show because then you're making your own money and you don't have a boss.
It's also too like it's potential for a broader audience, like in terms of
Yeah, true.
you're not geographically stuck, like you're geographically
Yeah.
bound, sort of a thing. But
most radio shows they release as podcasts now anyway, don't they?
yeah. I mean, I cannot complain about how like doing it over at SEN because it's like it was like that summer was so fun.
And is that a digital radio station?
No, AM. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, before midday.
digital. Yeah, exactly.
It'd be funny if it shuts off at noon.
Well, you know what's funny about that radio station is so they got the license that used to belong to I think it was 2CH, like, which is a Christian station.
Oh, okay.
And so, but part of the license deal is they still have to play a certain number of like religious related ads.
Can't you just play Creed or something like that?
No, it's not music. It's sports talk.
Oh.
So it's like
So you just talk about the Samoan team?
mate, we talk everything.
They're still not wearing the jerseys.
But it'll go from we'll be talking about like you're making jokes like people like texting in and it's all sorts of crazy stuff, and then you go to a break and there's a thing called the Daily Nudge with Carl Faze,
Right.
and it's like the Daily Nudge with Carl Faze. St. Paul tells us, and it's like just a little.
They just do
like
a Bible verse.
Yeah, it's like a 30-second little. Like it's not. It's like a little like thought.
Who the fuck is listening to Christian radio?
Well, no one. This is just snuck into the sports thing, and then they've got a program.
Can you
on
imagine
a
the
Sunday
kind of
night.
fucking dorks that are listening
Well-
to Christian-themed radio?
Well, this is the thing. So it's sports, and there's just these weird Christian, and you get texts about what's going on with this for people that don't know the backstory.
Yeah.
But then once a week, there's a program. I think it's called The Spirit of Sport or something like that, which
Jesus.
is.
They're
But it's-
really shoehorning it in there.
I forget who the hosts are, but Timmy Manor is one of them because Timmy Manor is like a good Christian. Like
Sure.
guy. Have you met Tim Manor?
Nah.
Mate, the world's nicest human being. We used to make jokes on air when we were at Fox about Tim Manor being the worst of all the rugby league players
Yeah,
because
nice.
he's such a nice player. Yeah.
I mean,
mate,
I believe it.
yeah, you monster, Tim.
Yeah.
And he just laugh along. He's
I
such a
mean,
nice
and not
bloke.
to yuck anyone's sort of religious beliefs or anything, but do you need to listen to the radio about it?
That is the thing.
Like, you live
yeah.
your life however you want, but you go so far as to listen to this for entertainment too.
Yeah.
Like you're not allowed. It's not like you're allowed to swear on.
I think there's a reason it's
commercial
now
radio.
a sports station.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably ratings wise, but it's good fun. Like, and it was like, but it was the biggest difference for me was like TV was all like you work all week to do. Like, it's everything short. Like, you got to have everything punchy, short. Like,
Yeah.
you got very specific time. And this, all of a sudden, you're doing sports talk, and it's like, keep going. Like,
Yeah.
we'll do the start of the show.
A lot of padding.
Man, we'll do 25 minutes without a break at the start of the show.
Mate, how are you? You have been in entertainment a while, huh? 25 minutes without a break. You all right, mate?
No. Like, just talking.
Yeah.
But
It sounds so easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've been off the tools for a while,
wait till
mate.
you watch the text line lighten up and they're just abusing you. That was the other thing, like straight up. Talk about being mugged off. Man, when I first started doing it, like the text line, they just, for some reason, a lot of the regular listeners that text in don't like new people.
Yeah.
So
That
like,
makes sense.
Oh, man, the first...
Because I would imagine, what's the demographic?
I don't know, but it's not.
I think it's a dad. It's a dad.
Oh yeah, it's
good to come on here and try and capture some of the hearts and minds of the dads out there listening to this.
But it's a.
What's your relationship like with your sons, fellas?
Mate, now you sound like Carl Faze. But it's but the first week I was doing it, and then blokes texting in. This guy who calls himself, because they all give themselves a name or whatever they sign off.
Yeah.
And this guy calls himself the Reptile.
Oh, the Reptile, Glenn Ennis.
Yeah. Well, this guy calls himself the Reptile, and he texts in, "Oh, great show, boys," and named everyone in the studio like one by one, like, love it. This guy, love it. And then Barney, I would rather slam my dick in the car door than listen to you.
Oh, whoa.
It's like, oh, mate.
Hold on, Reptile. This is a Christian radio station, fella.
But that's what I read. I read that out on air because there's no thing. And then
just like Jesus would have wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said that day. I said, look, the Reptile, if you want to, bang his. He said, rather bang my dick in the car door. I said, well, if you're on this side of the M4...
Well, you're not banging it into any women if you're texting in the radio station, fella.
Yeah. Well, I just said to him, mate, if anyone's on the M4 and they see a bloke pulled over just giving himself the business with the car door, I said, just give him a honk, let him know you're listening.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then by the second week, he texts in, Barney, I was wrong about you, mate. You're all right.
Second week? Like, why? Give the guy a week.
Mm. But yeah,
I'm all for snap judgments, but don't put them in writing.
Yeah. Oh, mate, they're but it's fun. Like that's a fun job to do. So I kind of, in terms of stand up and all that sort of stuff, I don't mind doing that.
You're getting paid to muck around.
Yeah, and that's and the way they like. We did that summer. They were like, yeah, have fun, make it yours. Like it's so I can't complain about that in any way. Like, in terms of that creative.
What sports were you talking about? Cricket,
the tennis. We did a thing where we cross every day when the Australian Open was on. We crossed to the reporter down in Melbourne, who was in the the little quiet booth.
Yeah,
So he'd be like, just on court watching. Yeah. And you'd hear the sneakers and our thing was we'd try and talk as little like tennis with him as we could. We'd just chat about it. And so he'd always try and bring it back to tennis.
Yeah.
And it was, I remember the only time I stumped him was when the quarterfinals were on, and I said, how are the QFs going down there in Melbourne, mate? And he was like, and I said, quarterfinals, Brett, quarterfinals. Oh yes, the quarterfinals, mate.
He's concentrating on something else if he couldn't piece that together on his own. Have you been getting into the Matildas?
Mate, yes, right behind the Matildas. Did you watch the game? So
I did.
This will be out after
Wednesday.
After Wednesday and probably after the final as well.
Hopefully we're still in.
Yeah, still in.
You know what bothered me? Like, it was a great match, whatever. It was like a fucking hour and 20 minutes, 0-0.
Yeah,
they went injury time, double overtime. Still 0-0.
Mate, so tense. And then
just do the shootout.
you just cut straight to the shootout.
Like, what are we doing the first bit for? Just so they're doing a shootout with tired legs.
Yeah.
That's the whole game of soccer. The
Not a
whole
soccer
game of
fan?
soccer is all 0-0. It's like running around the house for trying to. You've lost your keys. You're trying to get in. Hour and 20 minutes later, you just ring a locksmith. Just ring the locksmith when you realise you've lost the keys.
Just cut to the chase,
You have 14 blokes
mate. Well,
or
not
14 people running around looking for. I don't how many people are on the pitch out there,
11 at a time.
and then 75,000 people watching this.
Yeah. They're in the ground.
Or
well,
look-
actually, at that was in Brisbane, so that's what's that, 45 something,
I think Suncorp's 50
50, yeah. So
or thereabouts.
all I ever know is every Origin, all you hear from the Queenslanders about how Suncorp sold out.
Yeah.
And there's still tickets available in Sydney, is there? So yeah, because there's 30,000 more seats, you dipshits. And
It
we
kind of
also
sells out every week though.
Well, it's the right size for football. That's why at Parramatta now, the stadium at Parramatta. Have you been there?
Nah.
That's real good because it's the right size for the game, and every seat, like it's the new stadiums, they sort of build them more vertically, so you feel like you're on the sitting over top of the ground.
I love Leichhardt Oval. I went there once.
You're old school.
It was awesome, just sitting on the hill, drinking tins.
Yeah,
Close enough to yell at Jared Hayne too.
Oh, nice.
Oh no, that was in
So it was
Suncorp. I did
It was
that.
a while ago.
Yeah.
you could go.
I
out.
was yelling at him through the fence.
I was going to say you can go out to Long Bay and yell at him through the fence, couldn't you,
I always knew he was a sack of shit.
mate? Yeah, I
Could flog me, but won't be getting to me for a while.
Well, and and if you keep your nose clean, it'll be a long while.
I hope so.
Yeah,
It's pretty good when a rich guy is going in.
Oh, mate. Yeah, there's certain crimes.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. Like you talk about rich guys. Cosby managed to do some time, and
Yeah, nowhere near
He's-
as much as he should have though,
no.
and no one got to him.
Yeah, oh mate, I think that's a very protective wing that you put a guy like that. What is he? He's in his 80s anyway, isn't he?
Be easy
So they're
to
not
flog.
gonna. Yeah,
He's a comedian as well. He's not punching back.
and he's been a comedian a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Wrap that sweater right around his neck. I don't know how violent this normally gets this podcast. Sorry about that, everyone.
I just like to picture his jumpsuit, his orange jumpsuit, having the weird stripes, the different colours and that on the top.
It's wool.
There he is. Oh man, the weirdest one. Did you see that one where he's walking out of court and he did the Fat Albert to the media?
He's lost his... Like, he's in his 80s. The dude's lost his mind.
That's
He
crazy.
can't even remember the heinous crimes he committed.
What got me too is his wife's never left him.
Hectic.
That's like I'm guessing they're living in separate houses.
Hard to judge the mind of a 9-year-old, though, isn't it?
Oh, that is. I think we got the clip for the week.
Yeah, well, they're living in different houses now.
Yeah, well, he's out though, isn't he now?
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's
He'd
out again.
served his sentence?
I think one of the convictions got overturned on appeal. I think he's still got more court date. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, he
Grub.
But yeah, he got out and then just straight back to touring. Talk about compulsive as a.
Who's buying tickets to a pedophile?
I don't think his was pedophile. He was just drugging. Like they were
Yeah, but
of age.
children.
No.
Oh, well, beg your pardon.
Yeah. Well, it's still.
Beg your pardon.
Regardless. It's hard to give consent when you're unconscious from the guy. But yeah, I don't think his were underage.
I thought they were children.
No, I'm pretty sure they were. Oh, why not?
Go on.
Man, you are. I think you're the first guest to bring beers.
Yeah, why not?
No, I can't
You're
think of a good
podding.
reason.
If you're podding, you're boozing. That's my motto.
Man, I was.
If I'm awake, I'm boozing.
Yeah. Do you have a night off drinking?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd have to be pretty crook though. I've done a real number on myself the night before.
Because I was actually.
No,
thinking
that's not true. Sometimes I do.
Yeah, I was thinking of taking a night off tonight because I've been with Jim Owen, supporting him, doing a bunch of gigs. And it's just like, I think last week, there was one night I didn't eat in a pub between that and
That gets a bit much, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like when you're looking at a menu going, oh, I can't have another steak.
Yeah, just something that wasn't in heaps of oil.
Yeah. Yeah. Then like, last night I did a gig.
Are any of these cunts doing stir fries anymore,
Stir fries is gone, isn't it? From the
And then even then, it's like a hell of a lot of oil in it.
yeah. But I remember my brother-in-law's a chef, and I remember him telling me, I was like, just put a restaurant, just have the more healthy stuff. He goes, yeah, but fat and salt make things taste good.
Yeah, it's all butter and salt, huh?
Yeah. And I was like, he goes, that's why you'll never see anyone just fully commit to the low calorie thing, because if it's a decent restaurant getting a decent feed, there's
like
fat.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good. You on the vapes, mate?
Love the vape. It's I can smell again since giving up the durries.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Because you were a
pretty heavy smoker.
Pretty heavy smoker.
Yeah.
Which
Cameron Duggan. They didn't call
Duggan.
They didn't call me it for no reason.
I remember that. So you moved. Did you move to Sydney for comedy? Like you started in Brisbane?
Partly for comedy. I was dating a woman when I moved here, and I moved here, and it lasted 5 weeks before she broke up with me.
That's an expensive.
I mean, it was good. It was the catalyst that got me here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd still be in Brisbane talking about it.
Brisbane.
She made the right choice. She seems happy now. She made the right choice.
So this is an expensive city to be with someone you're not really into.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I moved here to move into it. We weren't living together or anything like that. But
sort of just followed. Did she come down for work or?
No, she was already here. I met her here. I come down here to do some gigs. Met her. And then we were sort of in contact in different cities, a few visits back and forth. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll just move to Sydney.
Yeah.
Quit my job and got here, and she was like, oh, this sucks. Your lifestyle is exactly as you described it. It's terrible to see in real life. You just go out every night, huh? Every night. I was like, yeah, it's work.
Yeah. I think you used to hang out at the Comedy Store quite a bit those early days. That's where you met Yaz, who's on the podcast with you?
Yeah.
And met Jerry, obviously.
I met Jerry because I was staying at his house with Sam Campbell and Henry Stone.
Is that the, what they call that?
The Rat House.
Rat House.
So I knew those boys from Brisbane,
Mm.
so they let me crash on their couch when I came here, and Jared had just moved in with them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there was a real wave of good Brisbane comics at that stage.
I'd tell you, everyone cleared out at the same time. It really left a wide open market for me back in Brisbane. That's why I stayed there so long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
was making half decent money with a full-time job, making that money on top, because there was no one else there. So it's if someone pulls out or whatever, I'd get it.
That's how I first started at the store. Was they lost all their regular MCs, just coincidentally it all just moved on to different things, and they were looking for MCs, and I'd been MCing quite a bit, and I did the first store run I did was that, doing the 5 minutes to open the show,
and then went straight into MC. That's a huge jump.
Yeah,
you would have been so nervous that first time, right?
Yeah, but I think I'd been going. I thought it was a while then. I'd been going for maybe 4 or 5 years, but it was...
That's decent enough time.
Yeah, but and I was emceeing most other places, so it's just the store had never...
That is a big jump, though.
Yeah.
Even from most other places to the store, it's especially then when they had the table service and you got to mention the buttons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was... I mean, that was just a brand new thing you had to say.
Oh,
and
it was
tipping
the only place.
Staff.
Yep. I remember, Kobe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kobe...
Jazz's cousin.
Yeah, when he was working there, I remember him saying to me one night, him thanking me, he goes, you always mention to tip the stuff. We always do better with tips when you're hosting.
I always used to mention it.
And that's what I was like. And then, because I was already just mentioning it, but then I was like, oh, I got to make a point of this now.
Yeah.
And I'd try and find different ways to see if I could squeeze more money out of them. You on a date, man, you tip big.
Yeah.
Women love seeing men waste money, eh? And every time, like, everyone would laugh, but then the guy you'd see him, back when cash was something.
I wonder
people
how
used
many
to give.
relationships you ruined because he was asking to split the tip at the end.
Yeah, who cares? As long as Kobe and the staff got
Yeah.
their due.
Looking after my people.
Like, that was a real that was a fun crew and a fun time. I used to, because I went from there because they had no MCs. Like, I'd do, man, there was a run there where I'd do 2 weekends a month easy. Like, I'd do 2 weekends in a row.
Awesome.
And it was.
I remember that's how they used to book the store. You'd do 2-week runs.
Yeah.
At a time.
And it was.
That was a fun time.
I remember when, because when I first started there was the fridge backstage.
Yeah. I wasn't there for that. That was gone by the time I got there.
Man, when I first got there, there was no. I was there for the dawn of drink tickets.
Yeah.
There was, I forget who was on. I think it was a weekend where I think Glenn Wall was on, and maybe JJ Whitehead, maybe.
I don't know who that is.
It was a Canadian comedian. I might have the name wrong. He was another Canadian comedian.
Yeah.
Who were out, and so Glenn was living in London, but Canadian. They hadn't seen each other. It was a crazy good lineup. But end of the weekend on the last night, it's just they're like comics staying back for it because everyone used to hang out too for drinks afterwards, and so they're just like there was just shots lined up on the bar. They're like, come on, we're all doing shots.
Awesome.
And it's just like ripping in. And then I was there like 2 weeks later. And I remember just Jack going, "Oh, we've got drink tickets now."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I had a couple of leaving there when the birds are up nights.
Yeah. But it was funny because then I remember going through, because they used to give me, my routine there doing the 3 nights was emceeing, you get 4 drink tickets. And I used to drive on the Thursday, Friday, so I'd never use my drink tickets.
Keep more for the Saturday.
Mate, I'd have 12 on the Saturday.
Yeah, I'm slurring through the second half.
But then I wouldn't drink a lot during the show. Like, I'd have a beer in at the end of the first half, and then a beer during the second half.
Sure.
And then I'd just hang around that was my Saturday night. But by the end of it, they'd forget to take the tickets off you. So I remember one night I was like,
collected
man, I'm just sitting before the show chatting to Jack, and Yaz comes out and goes, "Hey, Jack, we're out of drink tickets. We can't." And I was like, "Oh man, I got a heap in my bag if you want them." They're like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And I had like a wad like that, and I said, "I've got that again at home if you guys want them back." And so then I gave them to him, and after that, Jack's like, yeah, he doesn't need drink tickets. He's fine.
Yeah, we owe him a couple.
Yeah. Man,
yeah, that's all right. They're good lads.
It was a great day. Yeah, that was just a lot of fun. So I remember, because Yaz used to do, because you were a finalist in Raw, weren't you?
Yeah.
What year was that?
2013.
2013. Because that was
that was a stacked year too.
Who was in that final?
Demi won. Demi Lardner, Aaron Chan, Becky Lucas.
Jeez.
Jane Morrissey, who now makes a lot of stuff with Huey and them in Melbourne, Hot Dad Productions. Who else was in it? Andy, I can't remember his last name. He's a TV writer now. Yeah, a bunch of people.
So good crowd.
Sean Conway. Over
Sean
in Perth.
Conway.
Yeah, he was in it as well.
Is he still doing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's around.
I haven't seen him in a while either.
Yeah, it was a pretty stacked lineup, and fucking what are those guys doing now? Not moving office chairs, I'll tell you that much, mate.
Yeah, bloody Chen's trying to leave the country.
Yeah, he's out here.
Bloody hell, mate.
Off to the Big Apple. With any luck, I'll be selling them soon. We delivering apples.
You're delivering the chairs. People sit at their Apple computers.
Yeah.
You're part of the production chain.
Yeah,
mate. Don't worry about it.
I am. Without vans, Australia stops.
Australia stands in your case.
That's true. That is true.
Mate, are you worried about the standing desk phenomenon?
No.
Yeah.
Probably I'll fucking deliver them too, mate. I don't give a fuck.
Man, I've got a standing desk at home now. Like
I drive a van. I
the
don't
up
need
and
a
down
desk.
one. Yeah.
Well, I need a desk. I'm eating sausage rolls and driving a van.
Oh, so you're living the life.
I try not to. It catches up with you pretty quick.
Yeah.
Just eating pies and shit all the time.
Do you do the 7-Eleven sandwich?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What's your go-to?
I like the salad sambo.
Nice.
Near this warehouse that we start at, like where we pick all the chairs up, there used to be this shop called the Lunch Shop.
Yes.
And it was fucking so good. They had, like, their prices were, like, these guys hadn't caught up with the fact that you can, like, you're allowed to raise your prices.
You're allowed to gouge.
Yeah. You're allowed to just make it more expensive. They ended up closing because they were like, we just can't make any money. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm getting a fucking sandwich for $5. This is crazy. You're making it in front of me. And it's like, it's massive.
Oh.
These sandwiches are massive. I'm so bummed.
Is this an industrial area?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love those joints.
One day a week, they used to do like a roast pork roll sandwich.
Oh.
And I
Like
miss
banh
it.
mi style?
No, roast pork roast pork and gravy crackling.
Oh, yeah.
Just on a white bread roll.
That's good living.
It was like $7. And they're like, we only do it one day a week, so people come in for it on Thursday. I was like, guess what, cunt? I'm coming in on Thursday.
I'm not even working.
Yeah, and then just standing there one day reading the sign that they had on the case and just being devastated. So what am I going to do now? Make my own lunch? Fuck that.
I'm going to have to sleep in.
Man, it was crazy too. Like, you know, you're starting at 5 o'clock in the morning or something, finish like loading several vehicles by sort of 10 o'clock. A roast pork roll, awesome.
Yeah.
This is like proper lunchtime food. It's not lunchtime yet, but for me it is.
And
I've been lifting shit for 5 hours.
In those areas, that's who's there. So
Yeah.
there's no we'll stinge on the amount we're giving them.
You can't get food out there past like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
That's because everyone's about to knock off.
They're all half cut by then.
Yeah.
They've been knocked off for an hour.
They're drinking VB throwdowns.
Yeah.
I remember going to a mate of mine lived at Homebush West, and him and I went and had a hit of golf once, and like on a Friday, and then went to this Vietnamese restaurant around the corner from his house, and it's real good, like proper authentic Vietnamese food. You know those kind of ones where there's no soft surfaces in the restaurant. Like,
oh yeah,
everything's
they're
like
just
tiled.
something they can fucking hose down at the end of the day.
And there was a group of Tylers that had come in, and they were drinking VB throwdowns, just sitting there.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Just drink
but they were-
schooners. If you're at it's at a restaurant.
No, yeah.
So they didn't have taps. Yeah, right.
So, but they were just sitting there, and they were having the best afternoon.
Oh,
It was like after a full week of work,
love it.
2 o'clock, they're just like,
Love it.
This is it. We're in for the weekend.
You know they're sitting there talking about going home and throwing a leg over too.
Yeah. Well, good on them, man.
Yeah, and by the time the missus gets home from work, they're so passed out. She gets home at 6. This guy's been blind since 1:30.
Oh, man. I remember working with, I played hockey years ago with a guy. I think they were Korean guys too.
Field hockey?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
One of the guys that played at our club, he was, in the Athens Olympics, he was the highest goal scorer.
Really?
He was this Korean guy. He was freak. But he used to
It is very Asian sport, isn't it? Field hockey, or Southeast Asia, I should say.
Yeah, India and Pakistan, it's massive.
India love it.
India love it. South Africa gets a bit of a run through. Like, there's a few good cricketers, like Faf du Plessis was a really good hockey player, and then had to choose Michael Slater too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a guy by the name of Brian Booth who was when I was playing at St George, he was our club patron. This is old school shit. He played Test cricket for Australia. Then when the 1956 Olympics rolled around, him and another bloke took 12 months off cricket to play hockey in the Olympics.
What money were they giving up in 56?
Not much.
Yeah.
No.
It's all for
Neither
glory
were
then.
professional.
Yeah.
So, but then I remember talking to Skull about him, because they played they both played at St George, And he was saying, he said, I see him come in after a season of hockey. He'd just come in and he'd go, like, he'd just make centuries with his hands, like, just like, because hockey players, it's all wrists.
Yeah.
So he said this guy could just turn the ball anywhere he wanted to.
Awesome.
The wrist. Just amazing batsman. But, yeah, hockey's, I played with this Korean bloke, and he used to tile, like, he'd do tiling during the week. And just he'd rock up in his like tradie like gear. He'd like do Saturday morning, and then just rock up to play first, and then just would own people on the field.
Awesome.
And then we'd all be like, "Man, he's lazy. He won't come run back." I was like, "Yeah, it's because he's worked 75 hours this week." Jason, he was.
This guy's been on his knees for
exactly.
2 of your jobs all week.
Exactly. Right, it was. There's something to be said for that physical work though, like in terms of just feeling like
it is quite draining.
But like feeling like you've done something at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like
it hurts your body though.
Yeah,
I mean, not even that I'm old, but at 35, it's like I would have handled this way better when I was 22. You know.
Oh man, that's something now. Even like just like I'm 42, and just in the last 2 years, I'm just like, oh man,
I feel like a fucking German Shepherd. My hips are seizing up.
Oh man, I stupidly started playing cricket again in like 2 years ago, and I like love it because I've always loved cricket, but I hadn't played in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Competitively.
Doing like a repetitive movement after not doing it for a long time does hurt.
Oh man, well I played last season. I played on a Saturday and then had to basically ran around. We played all afternoon. Then I went home, had a shower, and I had a gig out at Panthers.
Yeah,
at Penrith. And so I'm going from my place, and then it was maybe 43 minutes in the car on the Google thing, and I was sitting there because I'm driving a little Volkswagen Polo. So I've basically run off the field, grabbed my stuff, gone home, showered, jumped in my Polo for 43 minutes. Little manuals.
You're seizing up.
Oh man, my hips were like I was this close to pulling over on the M4 and just giving it some stretching. I was in so much pain.
That's a thing I have sort of started accepting in my life now, is I have to start doing some stretching. I've got to start doing yoga or something like that.
Yeah,
because this shit is starting to hurt. It's fucked.
Man,
I've just been a guy who stretches now at 35. It's like maybe I can either start stretching and still function, or just be the guy at the bowls club who has to turn his whole body around when you go, oh, you can't. And you have to turn from the feet. You can't just swivel your head around.
Man, stretching is like, every day for me now. Like it's just...
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe I can work it in, and maybe I can get something going at the pub, you know? Get
yoga.
Get the fellas down the local stretching.
Yeah.
Just so I don't feel alone.
Just doing the... Yeah, all right, boys. Schooners in the front of
all
the
right,
mat.
Quick 15-minute stretch, then we'll hit the Queen of the Nile.
Badrin got into it. Ray Badrin got way into it.
Yeah, and he's looking great.
Yeah. I remember him take it when when I was at Fox, he worked with us like brief stints when he was back.
Yeah.
And him, me, and the professor going over to do a session over at Moss.
You were doing hot yoga or something?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. I'm not doing hot yoga. I'll do regular stretching.
It was actually, the hot yoga is pretty good because it you don't get that, like it just loosens everything up.
Yeah.
But
I don't like the names of the positions. Like, what's this one? The one that my dad would be mad about me doing?
Downward dog.
Yeah.
Child's pose.
Get your ass out the air, son.
The one that gets me is Warrior 1 and Warrior 2.
I don't know anything about it.
I've watched a bit of UFC. I've never seen them do this pose.
I bet they do, though. All of them would do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
They probably don't do yoga, but they would be doing a lot of stretching.
What's his name? Diamond Dallas, the professional wrestler.
When the fuck have I ever needed my hips to be flexible? You know, as long as I can throw it back.
Mate, you can't
not throw it back, throw it forward.
Mate, you can't tell me a bit of dance floor action.
I can, look, I've never been a big dancer, but cutting shapes. I don't need my hips to be moving like that. Now I can't even sit on the steps for 6 minutes without being like, you got to get up in 3 parts.
Man, we took the kids at the end of COVID. Took the kids when one of the first things. You remember when the outdoor activities opened up?
Mm-hmm.
You could finally hang with some people. So there was a little like boat shed at the Warrenora River, not far from where we live.
Sure.
So we met my cousin and his kids there, and so you just you hire the canoes and the kayaks and stuff. And after
you get on one of those little swan bikes.
No, they didn't have that. I would have preferred that because after about 3 minutes, like tucked up like that in the canoe,
I've always wanted to do?
hanging my legs over the sides.
I've always wanted to get a tandem bike and just yell at the person behind me to stop following me. Just going through a park, being like, "Is that fellow all right?" He knows they're on the same vehicle, right?
You know, Heggy rode a tandem bike around France for his honeymoon.
And I bet he wasn't even trying to be funny about it.
No. It's
a legitimate mode of transport for that man.
That was. I remember him telling me about it, and he goes, "Yeah, until she got pregnant and ruined it." I'm like, "Oh, mate."
Oh, I just got pregnant on her own?
Yeah.
Fuck, he's funny. Yeah, so you got on these canoes.
Yeah, and after about 10 minutes, my hips just locked up. I was paddling a canoe. I was paddling a canoe with both legs hanging out the sides.
You had a side saddle on a canoe?
Yeah, it was horrendous. But it was like those things you never would have thought of not doing when you were like in your 20s or whatever.
Oh, sitting cross-legged now? Imagine.
Oh, no.
Imagine.
No.
Yeah, I've got to start doing it. I can't be that guy.
Man, you got to...
Just that guy who's never up straight.
Well, it's
always at like a 35-degree angle.
Oh, they lost a coin, mate.
Yeah, they're always walking around like it's raining.
Yeah, hunched over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got enough stuff going on with the look anyway. You don't need to be looking like you're trying to duck out of sight of people.
Put a splint on the back, dude. I need to stay upright. I'd do anything before I start stretching. Stretch and then not play sports about it? Oh. What?
Do you still play any sports?
Nah. No, not for a long time.
What sports did you play?
Basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
Basketball?
Sub 6 foot wide dude playing basketball.
Just draining threes? Was that your...
I was dunk.
Could you jump?
No, not at all. No, I could get as high as you reckon I could. Yeah, loved it though. It was so good. And then as soon as I turned 18, stopped playing any sports. So that was my entire life, just playing basketball and trying to finger people for all of high school. Turned 18, could legally drink, and then stopped playing any sport. And then we went back. Like our team was almost undefeated. Like a few times we lost, but I think we won almost every finals that we were in for all of high school.
Jeez.
We just had this, so it's like 2 seasons a year. I think we won almost every one. We just had this like crazy team, and it was pretty much the same team all of the time. And then stopped playing, and then we all went back at like maybe 21, 22, so not doing any physical exercise, and I'd blown out too. I got so fat. I was like 105 kilos at one point.
Really?
Yeah, it was nuts. And we were just getting fucking rinsed by this youth group that was playing basketball. And they were still in high school, this youth group, and they were they were beating us by like 50, 60 points. I'm like, God damn it, we used to do this to people. This is fucked. Had like 4 minutes on the court, be like,
Send me out.
I need a durry. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, the durries couldn't help.
Oh, it just like smoking a durry and then walking onto the court.
Oh.
Idiot. And then just like, better get a beer, huh? We going for a beer, lads?
Help. There's a mate of mine played, like my cousin actually played reasonable level basketball when he was younger, and him and his mates are into it now. But one of his mates sent him a thing. There's a league in Canberra where his mate lives. That's I think it's an over 45s or over 40s walking basketball league during the day. He's like, how good would this be? Fuck. you can only walk.
What do you get called for a travel if you start jogging?
I don't know.
You start a light canter and you're out.
But that's like, it's a sensible time.
Ejected.
Go for a drink afterwards.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
I mean, it sounds like a bit of fun, but at that point, it's just a bit of a shoot around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, just go hang out with your mates. You're not really playing a game if it's a walking thing.
No.
And at 45, you can't run anymore. This is what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I gotta start stretching, dude.
Yeah, start stretching, man.
Man, I joined the gym recently, and I
yeah?
haven't been. And they did a wellness check on me to see if
Did they really?
they called me up to see if I was all right. And I was like, oh man, I just had a fucking big week at Splendor, and now I'm in Brisbane. Like, I was at the pub when they called, and I was like, I'll be back next week. Don't worry about it. And he was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. All right.
What's your go-to at the gym? Are you lifting? What are you doing?
Yeah, just lift. I run a couple of Ks on the treadmill, lift some weights, and then go home and go to the pub.
Yeah. I remember years ago when I was in my 20s, I was flatting with this bloke, and we were living. We got gym memberships, but the gym was next to the pub, like where you'd literally walk out, and it was the same
That's
entrance.
this one. I have to walk past the pub to go home.
And we never, I don't think we ever went to the gym without going for a beer afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, but at that point, you're allowed to have so you're just equal then. That's a neutral beer.
I suppose you got to look at it this way too, is I was probably going to the pub anyway.
Yeah.
At least I got a workout in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how I think about it.
Mm.
At least I'm not just sitting here watching the fucking greyhounds or whatever.
Oh. Are you a gambler?
Mm-mm. Don't like it. But these old cunts down at the pub, they always put the greyhounds on one of the big TVs. So annoying.
Man, I was down at Berry last night at this pub, and we were talking about it. Like the guys that bet on the animated greyhounds.
Oh yeah, the saddest men on the planet.
What is the appeal of betting on the animated stuff?
Just bet on the Keno, you idiot. You can do the same bet. It just doesn't have an animated dog.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not cheering for something that doesn't exist. Go on, get up.
Yeah, you may as well be cheering for your wife to come back, fella.
And I heard I was at the gym today, and a song came on I hadn't heard in years. You know that song Father's Day? Have you ever heard that?
Don't know.
Man, I haven't heard it since. It'd have to have come out in maybe the late 90s or whatever. But it's basically written from this guy who's now like split up with his missus. You know, it's like the lyrics are, I wasn't always a single man. I didn't always live alone. You know, I didn't always live up here.
So sad.
And it's like, and it's all this stuff like, and all the men up here know how to leave a man alone. They're not a bad bunch that live up here. And it's all like, you might call it sad, you might call me mad, but it don't feel half bad.
Yeah.
When he calls me dad. And I was on the thing, just like thinking about this guy's life. I'm like, I'm getting ready to tear up.
This is the anthem
man.
down the men's shed.
It was like, it was like one of those ones.
Some guy's standing in a birdhouse tearing up listening to that.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing, standing in a birdhouse.
I was on the treadmill. I was just like, oh man.
You're just getting home and hugging your boys.
Yeah. I've got to be a better husband.
Yeah, please never leave.
But that's the lyrics. Every single Saturday is Father's Day. Like,
probably every second.
Just
probably every second
Saturday.
if you're writing a song about it.
Oh man, that was funny.
Shout out to all the fellas out there doing it tough. I don't have any kids.
Look up Father's Day. It'll get you through some shit.
Yeah, sorry mate. You fellas, you're not getting roots and you got kids. I am getting roots and no kids. I got the best of both worlds.
Mate, you've got to play with live ammo, mate. If you're going to get in the game, just get involved.
I mean, maybe I'm just blessed.
It's funny, yesterday, so went and did this gig down in Berry yesterday, and I carpooled with the other guys.
Berry's nice, beautiful town.
Yeah.
Beautiful town.
But they were a standoffish audience, to be honest, at the start.
That makes sense.
It was
hiding behind their scarves.
Mate, it was one of those ones like I started and I could see
half those cunts down there have driving gloves, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm swearing a lot on this podcast. I don't know if that normally happens, but
it normally happens.
Now, isn't it?
Yeah. I knew what I was getting when I asked you to do the podcast, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd go.
You didn't even tell me not to say nothing, Crook.
Yeah. We've known each other 8 years. I knew what the deal was.
Yeah.
But it was
He's gonna bring up some Crook stuff.
Well, it was funny because I said I'll meet you guys. We met at Heathcote Macca's, right? Because we were carpooling, and they were just picking me up on the way through. And so I didn't think anything. I'd just get there. And in the 10 minutes I was waiting for them, I must have seen 3 child exchanges. It was like on the new. I was like, oh, this is for a place that sells Happy Meals. This is kind of
just a lot of kids taking their own towels and toothbrushes with them.
Yeah, exactly. There's a backpack full of
cars.
stuff.
Fuck.
Hug your dad. It's like, oh fuck, man, it was.
See you on Saturday, mate.
Yeah. Oh man. And then that song comes up today. Like, the algorithm listens to everything that's going on, man.
Yeah, it heard.
Spying on us.
It wasn't even listening to you. It was listening to the car park.
Yeah.
How much longer have we got here? I got to desperately
Mate,
piss.
we are about at time, so
Perfect.
basically I keep a guest as long as their bladder holds them. So.
Yeah, we're reaching that time.
Mate, before we go, thanks for doing it. But before we go,
Pleasure.
plug anything you want to plug.
Listen to the Mug Off podcast. That's a thing that I do with Jared McGowan and Yaz. A lot of fun on there. And also a show called Excuse You at the Sydney Fringe Festival with Fran Middleton and Charlie McCann. That'll be a bit of fun.
Awesome. Cam Duggan, thanks very
so much.
mate.
What about your
Cheers.
plugs, mate? Do your plugs.
Mate, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing the Sydney Comedy Store on November 3, doing a solo. My
Oh,
first
there we
one
go.
there.
That's an encore.
Yeah, and
Yeah, get down and see that.
I'm going to be at Brisbane at the Sit Down Comedy Club on October
Nice.
7,
My
doing
home
my
club.
solo there. And I'm going to be at Newcastle Comedy Club on the 22nd of October.
Man, you've just named 3 red hot venues there.
Yeah.
Love them all. Get down and see Barney.
That'd be awesome. All right. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Love you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.